Hello everybody, and welcome to this video. Here I am once again at home. I just wanted to share with you guys something that's happening right now, a project that I have to do tomorrow. And I was contacted by one of my colleagues from my university, an oboe player, and we are doing a small recording for her website of Oblivion by Astor Piazzolla. So of course, you know, there aren't arrangements of this for guitar and oboe, and so she just sent me the music with piano, and I had to make an arrangement. So I came up with some arrangement, and so yeah, this is a project. And so, but I thought this would be useful in general for us guitarists and some of you who are looking to play with other instruments as well. In that the guitar is primarily, as much as we would hate to admit it, is actually an accompanying instrument. So you're going to do a lot of accompanying in your life. And there are some nuances that are quite different about the quality of the playing when you're accompanying, and in general when you're playing with other instruments. You have to take into account the fact that the guitar is not, does not have the same amount of volume of sound as any other instrument, except say maybe a lute. But so you have to really think about how you're going to play notes and to make sure that they carry well. So you know, anyway, I'm going to play a little bit of the arrangement and talk through it a bit as I'm playing, just so you get an idea of some of the thoughts. Now, when you're playing Piazzolla, also, that's another thing, there's a lot of rhythmic quality and popular music influence. So also the quality of the playing also is a little bit different, just compared to classical style. So, for example, let's start just from the beginning and say here. Introduction, and the way I just played it, I'm just kind of playing it very calmly, but you know, and it makes sense. But something that I really need to pay attention to is how each note, including accompaniment notes, are actually executed. So, for example, here, typically, if we were playing this as a solo piece, we probably would do something like this. That. And in that case, what I'm doing is I'm playing a bit stronger here and then very quietly on these notes. So, and that's to make sure that we hear the melody very clearly. But when you're accompanying, these types of things really begin to disappear because, well, the other instrument is going to cover. So the way I'm going to play this probably is going to be more like this, where I play and then give this more presence. So, of course, if you just do that, the melody also becomes kind of quite separate, so you can't really tell what happens. So I need to change the quality of color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this as a rest stroke, and then these with more of a brighter tone to them, like that. So see, so every time I have that, and then against that. See, so never that, but there. So I have now. And then it continues. So anyway, this is just something that I think would be useful, so you keep in mind that when you're trying to create a larger version of a guitar, meaning sound louder, make sure that you can carry enough sound when you're accompanying, then the quality of your playing is going to have to change. And rather than use these subtle nuances, which the guitar is traditionally good for, you know, these like beautiful sounds, then you have to think more carefully about the quality of sounds that you're going to bring in, and always measure how well they will be able to carry. So keep that in mind as you're, like, say, going through any kind of accompaniment. Now, another thing that I wanted to bring up here is some of the kind of rhythmic elements of this piece, which of course, if you've never heard this piece before, Oblivion by Piazzolla, you should really look at Piazzolla's version. You can find it on YouTube. And there's a section here where things become more active. So say, and then here. And so this is a part where the guitar is basically accompanying but kind of improvising at the same time. And so in this case, one of the things that I think is very significant to keep in mind is that, once again, all of the notes that I'm playing, including this run that I had, as written, that's how it's written. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play with much more freedom within that line. So I have, there is a certain feel of independence to the run that I'm playing. So and that is a very important distinction to make between, like, say, academic playing that you use for classical style music, so where you would not allow yourself to change the meter or the note values. So it's so strictly. So, like, say, you basically have 16th notes here, so you want to play 16th notes. But in a case like this, you actually have more freedom. And I'm basing that on the fact that Piazzolla, when he would improvise, this is basically one of the typical aspect traits of his improvisations, where instead of just adding notes or something like that, one of the first things that he would do is modify rhythms. So there is a concerto of his double concerto for bandoneon and guitar, and there is actually a recording of it with Alvaro Pierri, great guitarist from Uruguay, and Piazzolla himself playing. And if you look at the original, when Piazzolla begins, he begins with this. However, I mean, that was written, sorry, eighth notes, but that's not exactly what Piazzolla plays. He takes the notes and basically moves them around in rhythm. So he will play, instead of so, and then the following line would be something like that. So not really a lot of change to the notes, but there is a lot of change to when he plays the notes. So he changes the note values entirely. So I figured I would use something like that to give it more of a vitality that would be maybe more suited to tango style. And of course, not being an expert Argentinian tango player, this is the best I could come up with. And well, of course, maybe an expert's going to hear this and they're going to laugh at me. But in any case, this is the best I figure I could do with some of these things. In any case, this was just to show you a little bit of some of the typical things that you encounter when you're accompanying, and plus just to highlight a piece that I think is really, really beautiful, that unfortunately hasn't been played very much with guitar. And so, I will keep you posted about what happens with this video. I think this video that we're making is for her website. So once her website is up and the video is available, I will let you know once again. So anyway, thanks for watching this. I'll play a little bit more just so you get a sense of how it goes at the end. But basically, it's the same. And here we have to imagine the Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.